Ladies and gentlemen, I know by now many of you have heard about the 1 year old that overdosed on drugs at a daycare center, and three other children got sick. And they pulled up the tile floor that the children would sleep on mats, during their nap time. And this is what they found underneath. And they believe these folks that owned the daycare were also running a drug operation out of that daycare center. Boy, you really have to be careful about who watches your children. I mean, this is just a tragedy altogether. This poor baby should not have died of no drug overdose from fentanyl while he was in someone's care. But this is what happened. And I hope these daycare owners spend the rest of their life behind bars. I really, truly do. But more is coming out about it. I do have a video that I'm going to show you, and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
Care drug den where a 1-year-old died of fentanyl poisoning on Friday. Inside, they discovered a trapdoor beneath the mats where kids slept. Inside, drug paraphernalia and traces of what they believe is fentanyl.
We have evidence to show that it was more than just a daycare center. It's clear that there was a drug operation that was happening there.
Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark announcing today a Bronx grand jury has indicted Gray Mendez and Carlisto Acevedo Brito on murder charges.
We're going to have a date coming up within the next week or so where we'll unseal the indictment, and then I'll be able to talk to all the particulars about what happened in the particular case. So the investigation continues, even the recovery of evidence.
Inside court today, neither Mendez nor Brito appeared before a Bronx judge. They remain at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn after being charged this week on federal narcotics possession charges. Nearly a week ago, a 1-year-old died of fentanyl poisoning, and 3 other kids were sickened when they were exposed to the drug.
Every single person in this county feels what those parents feel, that they entrusted that daycare center to take care of their children, and one of them ends up dead and 3 of them almost died. It's horrendous.
Okay, so you saw the video. This poor baby sure didn't deserve that. Nobody drops their children off at a daycare, and when they go back to pick them up, they're gone. And wow. So the daycare owners are facing federal charges, as they should. Gray Menendez, 36, Callisto Acevedo Brito, 41. And they should face federal charges, and they should be facing the murder of Nicholas Mancini. This is the little boy that was killed. I just feel so bad for his mother, his family. They said he fell ill and he later on died, and 3 other children got sick. And, they initially thought it was opioid exposure, but now they said it was fentanyl involved. So, right underneath the area where the children would sleep on mats, there was like a trap door. They found fentanyl, other narcotics, and drug paraphernalia. So, you saw the picture in the very beginning. I showed you that's what they found in the floor. So I guess they put the mats there so you would never suspect there were drugs in that daycare. So they said there were several bags that were hidden in a floorboard. It was not immediately clear. And of course, after they had to test everything, then they realized what it was. So the discovery comes after the owner of the daycare and alleged accomplices. They were hit with federal charges earlier this week in connection of a death of a 1-year-old. And Mendez and Brito were charged with conspiracy to distribute narcotics, resulting in the death and possession with the intent to distribute narcotics, resulting in the death of a Southern District of New York, according to a complaint written by the DEA that was unsealed Tuesday. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. So you sold your drugs out of a daycare. Wow. You have to wonder how long this whole operation was going on. If this 1-year old, Nicholas, did not die and the others get sick, they probably would still be doing it. So the alleged complaint that drugs had also been stored in a hallway closet on top of children play mats at the facility. Yeah, it had to be traces of that fentanyl that got onto the mats, and nobody noticed it. They were so busy trying to hide the drugs that they didn't realize some of the drugs got onto the mats that the children would lay on. So there were 2 kilo presses, and they said the devices typically used by drug dealers to package large quantities of drugs were also alleged have been found in the closet, along with a third one in the owner's bedroom. So, okay, I see where they had. So they had one of those businesses, where it's a storefront on the bottom, and on the top you can live in apartments. Just like Carolyn Bryan and her husband had back in the day. Same thing. So anyway, Mendez and Brito, the cousins of Mendez's husband, who was renting a bedroom at the daycare, had been working together from July to September, according to the complaint. So they have an attorney, and they told NBC News on Monday that Mendez had no knowledge that the drugs were at the facility, and that she called 911 when she realized something was wrong with the children in the September 15th incident. The complaint alleged that she had actually made 3 other calls before calling the police. The first was to another employee at the daycare at 2:39 p.m. The latter two were made to someone she later said was her husband, and with the first call going unanswered and the second call lasting for over 10 seconds. So apparently, she tried to reach her husband several times after speaking with 911. The complaint said the surveillance footage showed her husband entering the daycare facility before emergency personnel arrived, and leaving 2 minutes later through the back alley carrying what appeared to be 2 shopping bags weighted with content. Wow. So he left out of there with the drugs. Man, I so don't feel sorry for these people. I really, truly don't. And as far as I'm concerned, with something like this happening, they deserve to never get out of jail and never be allowed to be around children ever again in their lifetime. So, ladies and gentlemen, they said the complaint the husband's behavior was consistent with an effort to remove material from the daycare to avoid their discovery by law enforcement. Well, being that she called her husband and then he shows up just before emergency does, and he carries this out, I find that hard to believe that she did not know it was there. I'm just saying, it seems to me like she did know. She did know. Authorities said a search of Mendez's phone found that she had deleted more than 21,000 messages from an encrypted messaging application where she had exchanged messages with her husband from March of 2021 to the day of the deadly incident. In the deleted messages, Mendez was found to have told her husband that law enforcement was asking questions about him. According to the complaint, he responded that she should tell them he was working, while she told him to look for a lawyer. The messages were deleted before police arrived at the daycare center, according to the complaint. So I don't know. It just seems to me like she was fully aware of what was going on. But my condolences to Nicholas Demency, his family. I feel so bad for the family and the loss of this innocent child. And, I'm sorry for the three other children that got caught up in some mess. I'm sure, it don't sound like the parents even knew they were doing these drugs out of the daycare, probably completely unaware until all of this happened. Wow. Mm. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.